Dude, you got good teeth. That's a good start, right?
Yeah, that's a good start.
First of all, you watched it all. Did you watch it all?
I did.
Okay, so
I watched it
you
at 2 o'clock in
okay?
the morning when they
How-
released it, so I could see it before everybody else did when they got up.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I didn't
Well,
look like a dumbass.
it's tricky. I think you do come off pretty good. You have interesting things to say, and you're pretty mellow compared to a lot of the more colorful characters.
Yeah. There are a few colorful characters in this.
Colorful character. Now, you manage the zoo, right?
I did.
Okay, so how what do you make the schedule, the time cards, or it's got to be complicated job.
It it is. I mean, it's a 24-hour a day job. You don't ever get to leave there. There's always something going on. So you just have to make sure the staff gets up in the morning, make sure they show up, make sure they're
That's
feeding.
probably half the battle
It is the biggest battle. Babysitting is 90% of the job.
because it seemed like Joe would bring in people that were either down the luck and sometimes it seemed a little odd, like he'd go, "Hey, here's a couple bucks, come on over," and then they would, he kicks them off to you to like, "Hey, here's your new employee," and
Yeah, exactly. It's that was his forte. That's just what he liked doing. He always made sure he was the center of attention, so he always got people lesser than him. So
yeah.
yeah, colorful cast is
Yeah.
an understatement.
I just realized I've been doing that for a while too. So, by the way, what was up with Doc? Doc is the other guy that was in it, right? Now
Yeah.
it said that he had a gas chamber. That's not a great tourist attraction at a zoo. What was that? Is there any truth to that, or you don't know?
It's just rumored out there that he has his own incinerator. It's always been a rumor that when he got done with playtime cubs, you can't just send them anywhere, and nobody, you got to have somebody to take them. So the rumor is that he would just euthanize them and then incinerate them, so they just disappeared.
That's horrible. The tiger's first birthday is like, let's take a walk.
Yeah, didn't even make a first birthday. Yeah,
Never been to this part of the zoo. Oh, when is the time they lose their cuteness? When
about 4 months old. You're done with them at 4 months old because you can't play with them any bigger than that.
because they can hurt you more, right?
Yeah, I mean they're not going to kill you, but you're going to draw some stitches probably.
Have you been bit? Is there a downside to being bitten by a tiger?
Um, I have been bit. I got bit the same time Joe got bit and took a helicopter ride. Through his episodes, he used to call it a chainsaw accident, so we named the cat Chainsaw. But,
Oh, because
I have two prosthetic legs.
that's right. That's right.
When it bit me, my leg was cushioned enough to save my leg. Joe wasn't so lucky, so
Did you have prosthetic legs when you got bit?
I did.
Okay, so well that came in handy there.
Yeah.
But Joe, are you talking about the time when they said he said there was something on his shoes?
No, this was way before all that.
God damn, there's sardine oil. What? I think it was Carole fucking Baskin.
Sardine oil, yeah, oh my God.
He said it was cologne. Meanwhile, I use sardine oil as a cologne, so I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, don't get around tigers, you'll be all right.
I mean, I'm the biggest puss. Don't worry about me. I'm not going anywhere near. Was there something in the documentary that they didn't show that you might have wished they did show?
We've been filming this for years. I know 5 years for sure.
So you don't even know really what it's going to be about or what's going on at certain.
No. I mean, there is so much that's unheard of. I mean, there's so much missing from it. So I think they were just saving a lot for more episodes is actually what I think's going on.
Maybe that Eric Good, right? That's a direct.
Yes.
Yeah. That's very possible. I mean, it's such a huge demand right now. That's a very possible scenario. I think he started it out as something about reptiles and snakes.
Yeah, that's how it originally started, I think. And then he ran into this character named Joe Exotic, and it all just went downhill from there.
Was that a tiger in a van or something in a parking lot? Is that what that was?
Yeah, he was actually interviewing. So I can't remember who was that in the show. I can't remember who it was, but stuff like that happens all the time. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what's in your neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, for sure. I know some sketchy people. I mean, even when we did Joe Dirt, we had extras and we'd have people and I'm from Arizona, so Joe Dirt was based on Arizona guys with no shirt walking around a gas can on meth, running around. We had to PG-13 it up, but it was sort of those types of guys. So they're all over the place.
I think y'all actually knew Joe Exotic back then when y'all filmed that.
I mean, it's very similar, I have to say.
You sport a mullet pretty good.
Yeah. Listen, if I could really grow my hair like that right now, I would. I want to be cool again. But okay, I got a question about Alan, this guy who's terrifying. Did he take your job? Is that what he was, a manager? Was he brought in?
He was actually Jeff Lowe's right-hand man. He was in Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Jeff Lowe's pocket. He came with Jeff Lowe. He just took orders from Jeff Lowe, nobody else. So he kind of just did some yard work and stuff like that, whatever he wanted to do.
Now, you still talk to Joe or not?
I have not talked to Joe since he's been incarcerated. Not because I hate Joe. I mean, hell, I got to love the guy. I was there for 14 years. I think at one time I was the only straight guy on the whole zoo.
Yeah.
But we just built a bond, and I knew if I called him while he was incarcerated, he wouldn't shut his mouth. And that's what's got him in all this trouble, because he wouldn't shut his mouth. And he would spill his guts, and everything's recorded.
Yeah, I always thought, like, if he was going to put this hit out, someone that says it so many times, I don't know if you would do it after you say it so much, or maybe you're just not thinking it through.
Yeah. I mean, he was provoked. I mean, you can see through the whole episodes that he was provoked to do this. He would have never went this far if somebody wouldn't have provoked him.
I see what you're saying. Well, Carole, what about the ex-husband? What are the thoughts on that?
That's the story I've always heard, but she's missing a husband before that too. So she has a really deep past. So there's some things that haven't come out in the episodes yet, and she's in, what would you call it? Eccentric, I guess is what you call her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll downgrade it to eccentric.
Yeah. There you go.
She seems like a dreamboat.
I don't know anybody that hasn't said they wanted to kill her. I mean,
you run a zoo, and I don't know much about anything. So I asked John this a little bit ago. He didn't quite know the answer because I think you would be more knowledgeable. But is Carole's sanctuary different than a zoo? Does she get donations or something, or how does?
Yeah, I mean, she bases a lot of her stuff on donations. And I don't know how many donations she got just to try and crucify Joe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she has Jaguar of Florida, the Jaguar car. They sponsor her. She got a big sign in her zoo with that. And, she may have saved a couple animals, but most of them she bought, and just through the time, she's just multiplied.
Yeah, it feels like by the episode 2, and the first one she's after him, but then you start to see what she's up to, and you go, it's kind of the same situation.
It is actually, except she only has about a dozen big cats. Okay. She doesn't have a whole property like Joe had.
And she calls it Big Cat City.
She calls it Big Cats because they're bobcats and servals on up, which is a little bigger than a house cat. So I guess you could call them big cats.
Yeah. You might have snuck a few meerkats in there.
Yeah. But she did the consensus is the same. She did the same thing Joe did.
Yeah, because she seems like a slightly hypocritical to me. I don't know all the ins and outs, but she's got people over there going, if you work here for 2 years, you get a green T-shirt. Everyone's like, oh.
Yeah.
But I'd be in the back going, I don't hear anything about money. Is it more for colored T-shirts? Who would play you in the movie? What do you think?
I don't think anybody could play me in a movie. I mean, how are they going to put prosthetic legs on a guy?
Well, every actor likes the challenge. That's a big challenge.
It would
maybe
be.
Matt McConaughey.
When this all started, somebody asked me, and I thought Matthew McConaughey would make a good me.
Yeah, he's stud. He's got a little accent, and that sounds like I could buy that.
Yeah.
This thing's really filling up. We're getting a real good cast going.
My vote's for you. I really think you'd sport that mullet really good.
Oh yeah, with Joe. I couldn't keep up with those haircuts. It was blonde one episode.
Oh yeah.
The bowl cut. I mean,
it's all about image. His image came first before everybody.
Was he selling meth in the gift shop? Because it feels like it was sort of going around the horn there.
No, I can honestly say he never did meth in front of me because he knew I was anti-meth. Travis would smoke weed all the time. That didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Hell, I got pains and aches. I eat edibles every now and then just to go to sleep at night. But he never did. I can honestly say he never did meth in front of me.
I believe it. Yeah. I mean, listen, he seems just high on life, and then that's his whole personality.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, the other characters seem to be crumbling a bit. But overall, that whole lifestyle, and it could feel culty to some people from the outside. It could probably get to you, lead to drinking, lead to different things. I mean, a lot of people say they wouldn't leave, you know.
I mean, your life was a zoo. You were there all the time, and there probably wasn't 3 driver's licenses on the whole zoo with 20 employees. I mean, that's the kind of people that came. So,
did most people live on the zoo and they didn't leave, right?
Yes.
So people just start hooking up and everything crazy happens.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, you seem like a cool guy. Nice chatting with you, and thanks for taking the time. And we'll keep watching. Maybe there'll be another round of these.
All right, definitely.
All right, thanks for talking to me, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.